What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, me, my younger brother Owen here, are going to be talking about our first 6 months in Jiu Jitsu. We started training at the beginning of the year in 2025 out of Eco Submission in Conway, Arkansas. It's been a great gym. Shout out to all of the goblins and Josh Root as well. Been a phenomenal instructor teaching us everything we know thus far. So today, we just wanted to sit down, talk about pretty much how our first 6 months have been, what we've enjoyed, what have some of the challenges been, or some of the things we've learned, and some of our favorite or least favorite things about training so far. And for anybody looking to train jiu-jitsu or to get into it, we'll give you a little insight on kind of what it would be like to be a beginner, and as well for us later in the future as we grow to be blue belts, purple belts, and go on for years to train this, to be able to look back at ourselves and where we were at the 6 month mark and just kind of see where we're at mentally and how we're thinking about everything. So we have got a bunch of questions that we're going to go through and just kind of talk through our experience so far. So to start, it's only right to start with how we started with jiu-jitsu in the first place. So Owen, would you like to let them know?
Well, I am kind of the one that got us into jiu-jitsu because I have been in the UFC or into UFC. And I've been more into he's been into it, but I've always been more into it and like really seeing the fighters and watching different YouTubers and stuff like that. And then I started really getting into Demetrius Johnson's YouTube channel where he would break down a lot of fights and stuff like that. And he would constantly say that jiu-jitsu is king in those fights. And the fact that Charles Oliveira is like my favorite fighter in the UFC. So those two kind of like, I was like, all right. Jiu-jitsu is kind of their shit, so like I gotta see what it's about. And then we kind of just, and he had like Jim.
Yeah. I was working with Jim, buddy of mine, who trains and coaches over at Graybeard, another gym in town, and he's a blue belt there. And he had been doing it for a while, and I've been talking to him about it because we boxed for a year and a half about a couple years ago or a year and a half ago. And really enjoyed that and have wanted to do more martial arts, but just had been in kind of a break period in between training. And he invited me over to an open roll. And ever since then, the rest was history. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, we got to go do this. He was like, I've been wanting to do it. We need to do this. And I was like, let's go do it. So, found a gym. And actually at that open roll, I met Josh and a couple other eco guys there. And they were like, yeah, come over and train. Like, check it out. And I did. And here we are. So, that was pretty much us and how we got into it. But what were your expectations going in?
Expectations?
Yeah.
I knew it was a super technical sport, so I knew that like I was gonna it was super knowledge based, so I knew that I was gonna be super frustrated a lot of the time, like not knowing what's going on, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was also a super physical sport because I've seen a lot of wrestling and commentators always talked about how tiring wrestling was. So I knew that it was going to be probably the most tiring sport I've done and the most technical sport I've done. So I was expecting a lot. So nothing blew me out of proportion when I went into it because I was so my expectations were so high, how hard and how much I would need to do to even get better at this sport. But what about you?
Yeah. That makes sense. I don't know. I think my expectations were lower going into it. I definitely didn't know as much about jiu-jitsu going into it. I kind of just knew that there was a lot of crazy entanglements and ways to manipulate the body that I didn't really understand, but I knew it was kind of a lot to learn and a lot to process. But I thought with the way that we think that it would be a really good endeavor and a good martial art for us and a mental and a physical exercise. But I think I underestimated how much wrestling it would involve, and also how technical it would be. I was definitely just overwhelmed a little bit by everything in the beginning, but once we got settled in, I was like, this is what we're doing. Get after it and get it going. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, I love it because it just makes the ceiling was very high for everything.
Yeah.
So looking at the ceiling was daunting, but now it's inviting because there's so much you can learn and so much you can do.
It excites me.
Yeah, exactly. It excites me as well. So now it's we got so much to do, so much to learn.
Do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start with the beginning days, the early days back in January when it was just cold.
Early January.
Didn't know what was going on, just showing up and getting after it. I don't.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first class? Or our first class?
I feel like my first classes are just like a blend
Yeah.
of like each other. Like I just blend together my beginning. Like I just remember a couple foundational things I got taught at the beginning, like a triangle.
Yeah.
I learned a triangle like it had to have been day 2.
Yeah, like
And
day
then
1 or 2.
an arm bar like had to have been day 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And like those things have like always just been in my toolbook because of that. But to belt. But I don't really specifically remember my first class.
Yeah, I don't remember my first class. I remember the first open roll that I went to when Jim invited me to an open roll over at Graybeard, and I got tossed. Oh my gosh, I was not ready whatsoever. I show up in like a tight shirt and like some shorts without any zippers or pockets, and he like throws me a gi, and I put it on. Didn't even have a belt, just threw on the shirt and pants, and just got after it. And I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how to get on somebody. I didn't know how to strangle them. I didn't know what I was looking for, what I wasn't, how to get out of anything. I was just like muscling everything. And halfway through, I like threw the gi shirt off, threw the gi pants off, and just like no gi wrestled. And I was like, okay, this is what we're talking about now. I can actually move around without dying here. And people aren't grabbing everything on me. So that made it a little bit better. And then like part of the way through, Josh was like, yo, got a chest-to-chest connection or a chest-to-back connection. And I was like, oh, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you, dude. I said, that's all I needed to hear. Like, that helped so much. Because then I was just like, okay, I have an objective at least. Like, I had no objective in my mind. I was just getting after it, looking for, basically like a headlock. But then I was like, okay, I've got a good direction. And he helped me out. He gave me a couple other pointers, like, while I was there, too. So, talked to him afterwards, and then we got over there. And same deal. All my kind of first classes blend together with the... We were learning leg entanglements a lot, too. I remember I was like, oh, I didn't even think about legs. Like, I thought, like, maybe some headlocks and, like, under, a big arm bar, like we were falling over the top. But I didn't think about, like, leg entanglements whatsoever. So I remember being like, oh, okay. That was part of what, like, I was like, oh, this is more than I thought it was going to be, you know? But, yeah, those were kind of, like, the biggest surprises and, like, things from the beginning.
Yeah.
Were you ever, like... Dude, what are we doing here? Like, this is what did we start with? You know what I mean?
For my size, I thought that a couple of times. Like, how am I supposed to, like, continue getting better? Like, especially towards the beginning, now I know that, like, my size being smaller, always going with bigger people has made me get better quicker because, like, I'm constantly, I can't ever use my strength to get out of any situation.
Yeah.
So I have to use technicality. But at the beginning, I was just like, I can't. Like, I'm just getting ragdolled by people that weigh, like, 180, like, literally 60 pounds more than I do. And it's just, like, there's nothing I can do but, like, just keep trying. Like, I don't know. But that honestly gave me more determination because I wanted to get better to beat bigger people.
Yeah.
So, like, there was a couple moments of, like, this is like, just completely unfair. But, like, that also made me want to, like, even the playing field with skill. So it kind of motivated me in the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of similar. I think just to a lesser degree, just because I had more weight on me. I was able to compete with, like, the bigger people better. But I was just like, is my body, I remember thinking, is my body ever going to get used to this?
Yeah.
Like, we would just go home bruised and just, like, hurting. Like, your neck, like, when you first start getting collar tied, when you've never been collar tied before, somebody's just snapping your neck down, like, your neck is just tight, like it has to stiffen up and get used to that brutality for a little bit, but it eventually did get used to it, so now it's like a lot better. But I remember thinking that, like, dude, I don't know if my body will ever get used to like this beating, but it was a little bit in the beginning, but yeah, like I said, they're just like, oh, I gotta keep going, I've got to get better, my body's got to get used to it. Now let's go over some, like, technique, growth, what's been challenging, what we've enjoyed learning, submission wise, rolling with higher belts versus lower belts, all that kind of stuff. Let's start with, what do you think is the hardest thing you're still struggling with? Like, where are we at where we're just like, dude, 6 months and we are still struggling with that?
Like, offensive leg locking for me. My leg lock defense is a lot. I've just done it so much more. I don't go for leg locks. Like, I just try to get out of leg locks so that I can, like, get in another position where they can't leg lock me, and then I try to submit them another way. So, like, I really just haven't worked on, like, I get in a straight ankle lock, and I'm like, I've done this, like, I've actually finished straight ankle lock like 4 times.
Yeah.
I cannot do this many times, or I haven't done this many times.
Yeah.
And Yeah, that's probably like what I'm worst at this point is finishing either. I don't know. Yeah, heel hooks and straight ankle locks are just my two worst.
Yeah.
I leg locks in general.
I feel that. I agree. Like legs have been one of the things we've neglected more than anything else. I've started getting into more straight ankles recently, but I still have not gotten into heel hooks a lot. Like I know how to go for them. Well, I don't really know how to go for them. I know how to finish them, what I'm looking for, how to grab it, but I don't really know how to set it up well. Like I can set up a straight ankle better than a heel hook, but yeah, leg stuff. And I think one of the things I'm still struggling with to learning is like when I'm getting out of a bad situation or just getting out of a situation in general, whether I'm like in somebody's closed guard and I'm getting out, or if I'm like getting out of a headlock, it's just like getting out more safely. Like I've been able to like break free of grips or whatever and get out of the situation, but I'm immediately like caught in something else. Yeah. Like one of my arms is always like left behind, or like I don't know, they're just grabbing onto something that I'm leaving. So like my exiting defense needs to be better as well. Yeah. But yeah, a little work. What have been a couple like light bulb moments where you like, boom, it all makes sense now as far as like technique goes?
The biggest one that comes to mind immediately is when we did, I don't remember the specific game it was, but it was a game where when you're on your back, the goal is to get in between, like, you start in, like, it was like a weird starting position, but you had to get through the legs and then, like, face them and have with their hands on the mat. And, like, that has, like, changed my game, like, while on my back, because, like, now I just search for, like, getting under the legs, searching for, like, to get to the hips, like, behind them, and then, like, get a body lock into side control. And it's just, like, if I can do that, it's basically free side control. If I can get through the legs, like, on my back, that was, like, one of the biggest light bulb moments I've had.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think? I can't think of another one.
Yeah. There's been, like, almost every technique has had, like, one little light bulb moment, because we play all these games, start to get it, but especially in the beginning where you're like, I'm not really sure if I'm doing this right. Like, I'm doing what he's saying, but, like, is it, I don't know if it's feeling right, or whether it's cutting an angle, like, with a triangle, or getting the arm across, or, like, just the squeeze, or holding posture down. Like, I'm doing all the things, but is it right? But whenever you get something for the first time, like, I remember the first time I got a Kimura on somebody, like, I functionally, like, thought about grabbing the same side to same side arm, and then just, like, overhooking and grabbing my own arm, and, like, thought myself through it as I did it and connected it, and then I got it and finished it, and it was just like, oh my, there it is. That's exactly, I just need to do that every time now. Like, so that has happened in so many other ways as well. But along with that, the first time you do something, I've found that the first time you have a light bulb moment or you get a submission on somebody, that kind of like rewires your brain to think about it like just on that side. Like I remember my first Kimura was on the right side, and now I dominantly go for Kimuras on the right side. Or like my first triangle was with somebody's right arm, so now I think about that anytime I go for a triangle before I think about the other way. So like trying to have to unlearn kind of like that light bulb moment where you learned it and ingrained it in your memory to start thinking about training both sides of something. Almost like you're training both hands, like dribbling in basketball, has been like a thing we've had to learn and grow with as well. Favorite submission? Do you have one singular favorite submission? Or just like a couple?
I have like two because like I really like, my favorite is the leg triangle, but I don't get that as frequently as I would like. So like it's not as fit. Like I get my ninja choke is what I probably get the most on anybody, but like that's probably like I feel better when I get a leg triangle on somebody than when I get a ninja choke. But I get the ninja choke the most. So like those are like my top two.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of the same way, but I really enjoy a buggy choke. Like I'm loving the buggy choke. Like that is it's just top tier for me because it's so stupid and it shouldn't work. And you're in a horrible position when you get it, so it's like a nice little counter. Like I gotcha. And I'm built for it because I'm long and lanky, but it's not super high percentage. But when you get it, it is so great. Like that person is so upset 9 times out of 10. Or they're just like shaking their head like, how did that just work? So that aspect of it just makes it so great. But I obviously don't get it a lot because it's not high percentage. But that's kind of my favorite right now as far as just like a joke. But as far as a more serious, my favorite is just got to be a guillotine. Like a guillotine for me has just been the bread and butter of my game. Like with more height on people in a starting position, I'm able to get their head down or their head's already in a lower position for me to guillotine them. So it's so great from standing. I can get it from like seated if I'm like sit up well enough. And it's just been my go-to stand-up. And I've been able to figure out like a good Darce, like a good ninja when I can get it. And started to figure out like a good high wrist, but like being able to throw in different variations when you know what you need, as well as locking down rotation or any kind of movement with your legs as you're doing it, and knowing like when you need to lock it up versus when you need to focus more on moving that outside arm inward, like on themselves if you have like an arm in triangle or an arm in guillotine. But yeah, I really enjoyed the guillotine so far. So yeah, a nice little buggy choke, and then guillotine has gotta be my go-to. What about rolling with higher belts versus lower belts? How do you feel about rolling with a fellow white belt or even just a newbie that's just there, or rolling with like a purple belt or, God forbid, a black belt?
Well, I don't know. It really depends on the purple belt.
Yeah.
Because there's some purple belts in our gym that just work, like, do the same pace like kind of everybody, kind of just do it. And then there's, like, guys that really tone it down and, like, really don't use much strength. And, like, so, like, those purple belts I enjoy rolling with more than fellow white belts because, I don't know, it really depends on, like, the day, too. Because sometimes I want to get, like, a hard roll in, and that's, like, when you want to go with a fellow white belt because, you know, they're both going to go hard.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't want to spaz out on a fucking purple belt that'll just run your shit, so you gotta, like, I don't know, you get a lot more, I feel like I get a lot more out of going with purple belts. I get, like, a lot of people at our gym are really good at, like, slowing down and teaching and, like, helping me with technique.
Yeah, 100%.
So, like, I get a lot more out of those, but so sometimes you really just like to get after it and, like, see where your like skill really lies, because it's like that's the same. This is the closest person in skill to you.
Yeah, 100%.
So, like, it depends on the day, but for skill, I'd prefer a higher belt to go with.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think there's a good balance you have to have between going with like a lower versus higher belt. Like I heard somebody when I first was getting into jiu-jitsu was watching a lot of content on it, and somebody was talking about the balance of rolling with people that are worse than you, better than you, and about equal to you. And that, like, you should be almost equally training those with a little bit more training centered around people that are exactly your skill level, or, you know, more just similar to your skill level. So I feel like when you're rolling with those higher belts, the best thing about it is learning all the things that you're bad at, or all the things that you need to work on, or all the cracks in your game, because, like, no matter how well a purple belt is toning down, like, their, like, skill level for you, they're gonna, like, slip into the cracks of your defense, and, like, that's just showing where those are at. That's when I started learning that I was leaving those arms behind when I was doing escapes, or that I needed to work on my guard retention, or that guard passing was a problem for me if I couldn't get past the purple belt's guard, and he would just submit me before I could even get him into any side of control. So it's really great for those reasons, and it's also a good, like, upper metric. It's like, you got to give this person everything you have, because that's what it's going to take. Or, like, if you're rolling with a black belt, you just got to be like, what do I have in my bag? Like, let me see everything that I can try on this person, because it's basically a great like viewpoint of, like, what you can do versus somebody. And then to flip it back onto, like, a white belt or a newer person, it is really great to see, like, where you lie as far as your ranking amongst those. And also, I think the best thing about rolling with lower belts is your offense is really what you get to work on, versus rolling with a higher belt. I feel like you get more defensive work. So being able to work through those techniques and actually, like, take the time to think during a roll, like, oh, I need to work on this, I need to focus on this, like, maintain, like, whether it's maintaining, like, positional control, like trying to stay on top the whole time, whether it's you really want to work on passing and, like, pinning and getting those 3 points of contact, you can actually think through your roll a bit better with lighter belts than heavier belts, or than, you know, upper belts. So, yeah, but I think a good balance of the three should definitely be maintained. Okay, so training as brothers. I think this is a big topic for us because it's been such a monumental part of our training and our development, because we've trained so much together as well. And it gives, like, a whole different aspect to training as opposed to, like, just a singular person training at a gym and then going home to themselves, like how 99% of people train. Actually, honestly, I feel like there's a lot of siblings that train, now that I think about it, but anyway, most people aren't training with their siblings, so I feel like it's had a different effect on us. So let's talk about that a little bit. How do you think it's affected our, like, relationship as far as just, like, brothers go? let's distinguish like outside versus inside training.
Okay.
So like this is more just like outside of training. Like, so how has training together for 6 months in jiu-jitsu changed anything about like our outside relationship? I think in that aspect, it has made us a bit closer. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like being able to be in each other, like you were talking about, feeling each other out in the gym has made us better at feeling each other out outside of the gym and like understanding our energy or just like our mood for the day and like our body language and everything like that. But outside of the gym, I think it's really helped us be more health focused. Like we've been way more focused on what we're eating, how much protein intake we're getting, like how much rest we're getting, like when we need to rest versus when we need to train. So I think it's kind of kicked up our health consciousness as far as training goes, because we're so directed at this and all of those things contribute to our growth in that. So it's kind of made us a bit better in that aspect. But I don't know. I think just a general easy answer is just that it's made us closer. You know what I mean? Like we get to talk about it more. We get more interaction and more time with each other. So it gives us more time to talk about and like laugh about things and enjoy like the social aspect with like everybody there and talking about like everybody there. So it's just it's a good bonding time. It just bonded us a bit better outside of the gym. So now inside of the gym, what has that been like on your aspect, being able to just train with me as opposed to just being in there with the big heavy weights compared to you and everybody else?
Well, obviously, it's made it like so much, because the average person would probably like hold back because they just look at me and like know that I'm 60 pounds harder than them. But like Evan, like being my brother, but obviously wants me to get just as much out of any situation as he gets out of it. And so, like, that has made it, like, infinitely better to train because, like, I get to actually work. It's not like he lets me work, but he just tones it down to the point where it's just, like, it's more even for both of us. He tries for more technique, and I try to, like, obviously I can't use my strength, so we try to go technique for technique instead of, like, strength and technique. So, like, that has made, like, my progress so much better, and, like, not having to worry about that, like, another person doing something to me or, like, hurting me or like anything like that, like going too hard. It's just like I know that we both know where each other's like, we've rolled with each other so much, we know how we feel when like we're tired and shit like that. We know when to like tone it down. So it's been like, it's just made rolling like so much better to have that training partner to roll with every time.
Yeah.
It's just like
100%.
So nice
Same
to
thing
have
here.
a training partner.
Like no matter the weight difference, like just knowing, like if we're driving to practice and we're exhausted or just not feeling great that day, that we have somebody there we can kind of like warm up with or just like go lighter with and really go light with, like, because there's some people at the gym or at every gym where you're just like, yo, let's go a little light today, and they just are going just as hard as if you had not said anything at all, and you're just like, all right, well, guess we're fighting today, you know what I mean? So it's super nice to have that, and as well, just like knowing that we're both focused on technique because of our strength difference. That's helped a lot in the games and in like trying to learn and figure out what to do with everything. So it's so much less about like a strength battle than like anything else. I think that's helped our technique a lot, honestly. Who's more competitive between us?
I would say you.
Yeah.
But like,
100%. But you have a switch that'll flip.
Yeah, I have a switch. I mean, like, obviously everybody's a switch.
Yeah.
But, like, there is a competitive switch that, like, if I'm in a really bad situation and that, like, something you just start freaking out at some point. Like, you really want to get out of something for some reason, like that day or in that situation. You just really don't want to be caught in that. And it's just like you flip a switch, but it's, I don't know, the fact that you also compete and I haven't yet.
Yeah. But you know, just more like a competitive aspect.
I just feel like you go generally harder than I do.
Yeah.
Especially with other people. So I would find you more competitive, but it's not like I'm not competitive.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
I definitely don't want it. Like, I don't let him, like, if he gets me in a guillotine, it's the last thing I want to get caught in. Put me in enough guillotines.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm definitely more competitive, just, I don't know, more outright. But there will be times where we're just going, and then that switch will flip in you, and I don't even notice it sometimes until, like, the intensity gets brought up.
Yeah.
And I'm legitimately sitting there, like, trying to, like, figure out what is happening. You're like, I can't even fathom you being more competitive than me. So like whenever it's happening in the moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta turn up the pace. I'm normally the pacemaker of us because I have the weight and I have like more energy to output. So like I want to set the pace for him, but whenever he starts pushing the pace on me, it's like, it's like I get excited.
Purposely bump up the pace. For
yourself, exactly. Like I get to bump it up for myself as well. It's like when you see, it's like I'm a dog like jogging along. I see a dog sprinting, and I'm just like, oh, it's time to sprint. Like we're going. So it's really nice whenever you do get competitive. Yeah, I'd say overall, on the topic of competition and competitiveness, obviously, as we've said, I'm the more competitive one. But there was a point whenever we were new and getting used to rolling in that like competitive, like aggressive atmosphere where things can get away from themselves. You know what I mean? Like you get so caught up in either chasing the submission or just like winning whatever the little battle you're having in that moment is, and that can override almost like anything else. And there was a point in one like open roll with me and Owen where I wanted this submission so bad. I don't even remember. It was a guillotine. I don't remember what led me to like ramping up as much as that did, but I do remember you submitting me hard and I wanted to submit you back, and then you just kept escaping every attempt I had. And at some point, I don't even know if I want to try to find the footage and put it in, but at some point, like I just said, fuck it, like I am getting this guillotine, like if my life depends on it. I don't know why. Like this, I snapped, but I just let myself like off the end. Like I just let my wrath out, and I just like guillotined him. Like he was like almost in a turtle position, and I just picked him up with the guillotine to where his like feet were off of the floor, and he tapped, and it was like one of the worst moments, like of self-reflection in my entire life. Like I was just like he walked like threw his mouth guard at me, and just like walked away. And I was just like, I can't believe I just did that. Like, I'm the biggest asshole in asshole history. Like, I'm the worst brother to ever exist. Like, I cannot believe that I, like, let myself get to that point. And that was, like, a very big moment for me because I didn't think I was even capable of doing something like that to Owen. Like, that was new territory that, like, got brought out of me. And I really had to, like, sit back and, like, think about, like, what even was that and why I let that happen. And so that was a big moment as far as like training with each other and also like training my own ego through this sport. And we talked about it afterwards, and like I profusely apologized.
It's all good.
Yeah, we're all good, and it was just we had like a great heart-to-heart moment about it, and but it really was like a big moment of self-reflection, just like why am I doing this? Like why would I ever do something like this? Like I can never let something like this happen again. And I've just like seriously made a vow with myself to never let my wrath come out like that again on anyone. Like I never want to be that person that I was in those few moments. So that's changed the way that I approached not only our training, but just like training in general. And I think that's helped us have like a more lighthearted approach to everything because I'm just not focused on like winning anything. It's all about growing and just enjoying and having fun in the moment, but still being as competitive as we can be without, letting the line get crossed. And the line was definitely crossed. And it was not a good look. Like I think another great aspect to being brothers and being able to train together and be primary partners is that we get to just be like, we can joke around and have fun with things. Like we don't have to take things too serious. And neither of us are so competitive that it overrides like our right to have fun. Mm-hmm. So like we can just like laugh about things, laugh things off, or like talk in the middle of a roll. Like we can just be like, oh, that was nice, or like, oh man, you almost had me, or just like, there's just like those great interactions that you get to have because you have that lighthearted relationship with the other person. So I think that's really helped our progress as well, and also like dim down our ego as far as like needing to win the right as opposed to just like having fun with it. So I think that's been a big thing as well.
Most definitely.
So I think it'd be really good to look back as far as giving our day one white belt self advice. What would we tell that person? Because when we started out, all we did was ask everybody we saw, "What you got any advice for a newbie? You got any advice for a white belt?" And we were just talking about how we would say, "Just keep going." Like, and people would say that over and over and over. 9 times out of 10, you ask somebody, if you're a white belt and then you ask for advice, they're just gonna tell you to keep going. And I would get so upset. I'd just be like I wasn't like, obviously I'm gonna keep going. Like that's why I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, duh, I'm gonna keep going. But it really is just the best advice you
it's
can give. It just keeps showing up.
Yeah.
I think
Stop.
better advice, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, stop thinking so much about, like, the singular position you're in or situation you're in, getting so upset about, like, not getting that thing.
Yeah.
And just knowing that, like, this is also a learning situation where you're learning, like, that the way you're going about this isn't working, so you have to do it differently.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's also, like, getting frustrated a lot early on, like, definitely, like, slow down the process from, like, I would just get so upset in an early game, and then just, like, it would kind of ruin the rest of the day for me.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, that would be, like, the only other advice I could think of to give my day one self.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a specific scenario.
Mm-hmm. There's not, like, a specific... I don't know what I was looking for when I was asking these questions, but I don't know, I needed something. Like, they were the only people to ask, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think better than just keep showing up is not only showing up consistently, but showing up as much as you can. Like, if your body can take it, go 3-4 days a week. Like, don't just... Like, you can start with a couple days a week when you're first getting into it and letting your body get used to that. But as quick as you can, get in as many times as you can. Because, like, that kind of repetition and that kind of, like, making yourself thinking about it all the time will just increase way more. And the consistency will help a lot as well. But outside of, like, the standard issue, like, day one, I don't know. I think I would say I think I would really just give myself blanket advice is, like, have more fun with it. Like, I think I was taking it too serious in the beginning because Eco as a gym is a very, like, competitive gym, and it is very lighthearted at times, but there's a lot of times where it's very, like, locked in, it's very serious. These people are training for, like, most of our gym competes, like, on a regular basis, so they're training for whatever the next event is. So I kind of would have adopted that mindset as well, and it's what made me so, like, aggressive and competitive, especially when I was early, so I would just say, like, have more fun with it. Like, I actually vividly remember, like, us, like, laughing around and having, like, lighthearted moments when we first started out because we didn't really know what was going on or some funny would happen, some weird entanglement, or we'd fall over. And, like, I would feel almost bad, like we were taking the seriousness away from the gym itself. So I would, like, just encourage it more because it's truly not going to hurt. Like, whenever I'm going hard and I hear somebody else laughing, I'm just like, oh, nice, they're having a good time. And I just get back to doing what I'm doing. It's never like, oh, dude, like, why are you not locked in right now? But yeah, I think just have some more fun with it would be some good advice for our day one. Keep showing up, have some fun with it, 100%. I think that's helped me as well as, like, learning new things as well. I think my lighthearted approach to it made me enjoy things like trying to figure out, like, an Imanari roll or, like, a crazy Kimura or jumping a Kimura or just, like, the crazy flashy stuff you see that you're just like, oh, that'd be cool. Where, like, somebody who's more serious and dialed down or, you know, more competitive would be like, oh, that's not going to work in competition. Like, why would I do that? Like, I would never have thrown around buggy chokes and really had fun with buggy chokes if I was, like, taking it too serious. So now I'm really glad I enjoyed it for that reason. So now, looking forward, what do you think? Where do you see yourself a year from now? A year and a half in. We got the blue belt or not?
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
How long until you feel now that we're 6 months in? How long until we feel like we're a blue belt? Because when we started, we set a goal of ourselves for a year. That was, like, our roundabout guesstimation was, like, a year is the goal for a blue belt. But now that we're halfway through that, do you think a year is doable? Do you think it'll take more time, less time?
I still think it's doable. I don't see, like, at this rate, it's definitely doable. Like, if I'm, obviously, you know, just double because, like, the beginning, you get a lot more skill than you get towards the middle. But, like, if I get acceleratingly better at the rate, especially at this gym, and start competing, then, like, if I win a couple competitions, then I think by the end of this year we'll both have a blue belt.
Yeah, 100%. I'm starting to think it may take less. Like, I may be able to get it in less than a year, but honestly, I don't know if I want it in less than a year. Yeah. Like, I just started thinking that thought. Like, I just started competing. I won my first competition, and I got another competition coming up in a couple weeks. And I was just thinking, like, if I do well in that, like, how many more times will I be able to compete within this year span of when I wanted my blue belt as, like, to still be able to compete as a white belt? And I was like, man, like, I don't know. I kind of want to compete more as a white belt. Like, I feel like I'm a good white belt right now, so it's kind of enjoyable to be a white belt. But, like, you know, the goal is to be a blue belt, and, you know, and so on. But I still think, I think a year is a good mark. I think some people, it just takes longer. But I think it may be possible to do within a year. I don't really know. Our coaches parameters on it. I just know, like in my head, if I'm like competing well with our own blue belts, like winning sometimes, losing sometimes, and I'm competing well against white belts in real competition, then I think that's like blue belt status. Like if I'm winning all my competitions and I'm keeping up with the blue belts already at our gym, I think that would be enough for me to feel like I'm a blue belt. So whenever I can get there and have enough of that under my belt, then I feel like I'll be worthy. But what about 5 years down the road? 5 years, 5.5 years into jiu-jitsu. We still training? Are we still training just jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, that changes the landscape because I don't know what martial arts will be training. It's like I feel like I'll be in and out of jiu-jitsu my whole life.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if I'm gonna be like 5 years of training or it's gonna be like 2.5 years and like I just came back, or like I don't know. But I think. See, I don't know the difference. It's hard to tell the difference between blue and purple because we never got to blue. And we don't really know like what the parameters of a purple belt is. I don't know because we see our purple belts and we just think they're so good.
Yeah,
we don't know. Like, I can't imagine. Yeah, they're just the go purple belts.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine like being a blue belt and striving to be as good as the purple belts because that just seems like such a. It just seems like white to blue. It seems like realistic, and then blue to purple just seems like such a big jump.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just like the people at our gym, or like the way our coach goes about giving out purple belts. But it's just like I don't know. I can't like wrap my head around being a purple belt like in just 5 years, but I think it's possible. So I don't know. I'll obviously be way better. It just really depends on like how much we're training. Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, absolutely. It just depends on, like you said, how much we mix in any kind of striking or Muay Thai training we want to start getting into. Because, like, I really do want to just singularly focus on jiu-jitsu for a while. But there's going to be a point here at some point where I want to get back into striking and just implementing that in and kind of having the best of both worlds, like doing a bit of both. But, yeah, I agree. We'll see. I think 5 years for a purple belt is more than doable. Yeah. Like, I can't imagine being a blue belt for more than 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's an egoistic or a stupid thing to say. You know what I mean? Like I
don't know.
But we really don't know. But it does seem crazy after being a white belt for 1 year to be a blue belt for 3 years. So, I guess we'll just see. Are there any like goals or specific techniques you want to focus on? Like, do you want to be this master, like a headlock, leg lock, triangle master, like top pressure master? Like, what kind of style do you want to curate for yourself within the next? I want to
be really elusive and like quick. Like I want my style to be like, even with big people, like it's hard to like keep hold of me. Like that's like ideally, because I don't plan on getting like really big. I plan on getting like 120, like smallest competitive big, like just so I can compete and be like as the same strength as a competition. But like I want to be like really quick and mobile and like. Really, like, I don't know, like, something about being really hard to submit, like, put a smile on my face. I already am pretty hard to submit because I'm just so small and flexible, but, like, I just want to lean into that, like,
an escape specialist.
An escape specialist. Yeah. And then, like, just be able to, like, with my escapes, turn it into, like, counter offense. So, that's my goal.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great goal, a really great, like, style for you to start going towards. I think front headlocks are going to be a massive part of my game. Like, I don't know if it's just because of the way I've trained so far, but I can just see them really well. Like, I feel like my vision for those has really increased to where I can see, like, grab it. Like, I can just, like, see it and know what to do in that moment, and not only get that, but then start understanding, like, where I need to go from there. So I think front headlocks are going to be a big part, but I think stylistically, I really want to be, like, almost like a playful grappler. Like, I want to just, like, almost not take things too serious, but like with doing that, like doing them with a very high degree of technicality. Like I want to be able to just like joke around and just like slip an ankle pick or just like grab, like play with somebody's like collar tie or like shoulder positioning for a while and then just like slip an arm drag and get behind them real quick and jump on their back like really athletically. Like still elusive and athletic like you are, like especially a lot of outside passing or like flipping them into supine like guard or like north-south positioning. As I was saying. I really do want to stay like elusive and like a very mobile player as well, like you said. But I think just like integrating that like playful style of like throwing up buggy chokes or like reversing situations, and doing like kind of the outside of the norm style, while focusing on the headlock is gonna be my look so far. So yeah, we'll get that stylistic. I don't know. I feel like we're starting to get like our style as far as like how we're grappling, but it's really hard to cement when you're still learning so much of the groundwork for everything.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish it out with some quick fire or rapid fire questions of just like this or that, yes or no, type of deal. So, start it out. Who will win in a match between us, and why? We can give a little bit of explanation for each, but who will win in a match? I mean, I think I would.
Yeah.
It's just the weight difference, the age difference, the
Yeah.
physicality. Like it's not really a fair matchup. You know what I mean? But don't get me wrong. You've seen the open rolls. If you watch any of the open rolls, like it's almost an even exchange almost every time. Like as far as how many submissions we're getting on each other. So not to knock Owen at all.
Yeah.
He'd be doing very well if I was at his weight. He would probably beat me. But that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah. Go-to post-training meal? Protein shake?
Protein shake is up there for sure. Well, okay, let's like just think meal. Like on the way home, like what do we have on the way home?
Oh, chicken's always.
Chicken, chicken some way or shape or form. Tenders. Either some chicken tenders or a chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Get some. We're right by like a Cane's. Our gym is. So we'll stop at Cane's or like hit a Slim's or a Zaxby's. But I think chicken sandwich or chicken tenders are honestly the go-to training. Sure. Sometimes we'll just get a fat burger and just like munch on that after a good open roll session. But yeah. Triangle or back take?
Triangle. Like triangle.
Leg triangle?
Yeah, leg triangle for back take, but not arm triangle.
That's fair. Back take over arm triangle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would go back take over triangle, honestly.
Both?
Yeah, over both triangles. I think like a leg triangle is very satisfying, but I think something about locking up a back take just feels like the most like it just feels like you have everything. Like if you have everything involved as far as like hooks or a body lock and then like the strangle itself and fighting the arms, it just feels like the most dominant position. So it's just like it's like the biggest I got you. Like I'm on your back choking you out. So but yeah, a leg triangle over arm triangle all day, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. Choke or joint lock? Definitely choke for me.
Yeah, choke as well.
I'm big on chokes and twinks, but like I don't do very many joint locks. I very rarely try an arm bar. It's usually when I'm in a mount and my arm triangle doesn't work, so I try an arm bar just for funs, and that usually doesn't work. Or I don't know. I don't usually go for like straight ankle locks or straight arm locks and like stuff like that. So I'm really just I choke.
Yeah, you really are just a strangler.
90% of the time I'm strangling.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'd take chokes over joint locks just because you can feel like it feels like better feel, and joint locks are scary. Yeah. Like when you're only training with your training partners as well, like it's scary to like train that on your partners and not hurt them and still train them in a good way. But I honestly don't do a lot of joint locks either. I do a lot of Kimuras. Kimuras are kind of my main joint lock. And a lot of the times I'm either doing it when I either have like a buggy or some kind of other choke, and I'm like doing it as a distraction or like a secondary, or I do it as a distraction. Like I do it to open up or to like sweep onto like mounted positioning. So it's kind of like a secondary thing in my toolkit as far as use, but I'm honestly chasing a choke more times than not. Get a front head going. Ooh, who's the scariest person to roll with at the gym? Scariest.
One of the purple belts.
I mean the purple belts, because Josh isn't even like the scariest. Yeah. Because you just know you're gonna lose. Like I don't know, you just like it's just, and it's a great roller. Like he can tone it down really well. Yeah. So scariest at the gym. I don't know. I haven't rolled with Noah yet, so I can't say. It's like in my mind it's probably between Noah and Hayden, but Hayden's got it.
I've never rolled with Hayden.
Hayden, that purple belt, dude.
Like
he just has his way, you know what I mean? Like you're just doing your best, and there's nothing that can be done. Like he's who I was talking about when I was talking about not being able to pass their guard, and they just submit me before I get past their guard. Yeah. Like he just shows me everything I'm doing wrong and all the ways that I can be submitted. But he also just has a couple crazy submissions, like this crazy arm, like it's basically an arm lock. It's an arm bar that he starts while you're rolled up, and he unrolls you like a fucking magic carpet, and just rips you up by your arm bar and just
Yeah.
flies into it and arm bars you. So that's kind of like the scariest thing I've ever seen at the gym. And he's hit it on me once, and he tried to hit it again. And I really resisted, and I was able to like get out of it because he kind of stopped because we were like, oh. But yeah, I'd say Hayden, I guess, honestly.
Yeah.
Before that, it was Lawrence for a long time because Lawrence was just so technical, and he just had so much pressure on top that it was just like there was nothing that could be done.
Yeah.
There was no way of
just
doing
sits
anything.
on you and then just rolls. You pass your guard.
Yeah. You're just losing. You know what I mean? There's just no winning.
There's just nothing you can do.
But I haven't rolled with Lawrence in a while, honestly.
Yeah.
But the better I got, the more I understood that he wasn't really going that hard. He
Yeah.
just walking past me. Yeah, I was just that bad. You know what I mean?
For real.
Oh.
My favorite grappler? Favorite pure grappler?
Favorite?
Is Craig Jones.
Craig. I fucking love Craig Jones, I'm not gonna lie.
Probably one of my favorite media personas too, but like UFC grappler, either be DJ or Charles. Charles at the moment, DJ probably all time, but
yeah.
Like, but those three, and then I really like a Nicky or J-Rod. B team's our favorite.
Yeah.
So,
B team 100%. It's the most content we watch, so any of the B team guys could be my favorite on any given occasion. I really enjoy watching both J-Rod and Joseph Chen roll because they feel like they're more my, like, not even like size and weight. Like, J-Rod is more my size and length, but Joseph Chen is more of my weight class. So I try to like watch them stylistically. I really like Nicky Rod because he's just hilarious and he's a great grappler. And I really like Nicky Ryan because of the same reasons. But they're both a little bit too far outside of my like build, so I don't watch them for technicality as much. But I'd say my favorite was J Rod, honestly. Rip the J Rod controversy, like that's so unfortunate because I didn't even know. Like I heard about the J Rod situation before I knew who J Rod really was.
Yeah.
And then like once I started getting into it and watching a bunch of B Team, and I was like, oh my god, that's J Rod. Like those are the stories I heard, the situation I heard. I was like, dang, it just like. It kind of tainted it because it was just like, oh, I can't just be like, nah, J-Rod's the GOAT, bro. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to defend any of that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Whether what was said was true or whatever of that situation was true, all of that put away, I can put that away in my mind and just look at the grappling and be like, that's a beautiful grappler. Like, I want to model some kind of my stylistic off of that. So I think I've tried to stylistically frame it off of, like, J-Rod as well as Joseph Chen. But yeah, they're definitely my two favorite. Craig Jones is the best personality in grappling, 100%. Yeah, and then UFC, I didn't even think about that. A UFC grappler. I love Charles. Charles is amazing. But I'm not just going to, I won't say Charles just because you said Charles, but I'll go with Paddy Pimlet. Because I feel like Paddy is like one of the newer waves of jiu-jitsu in the sport. And he's so explosive with it. It's not like, he's not like an Usman, like riding you and slowly getting closer and closer. And then he's going to arm triangle you after holding you down for 4 rounds and 4 minutes. But like Paddy will just like explode, like hold you up against the cage, drop you down, boom, he's on your back with a leg, like with a body lock. It's very fun to watch. So I think Paddy Jiu-Jitsu probably my favorite in UFC. Ooh, passing or playing guard. Where do you feel more comfortable, on top or when you're in your guard?
I feel more comfortable in my guard. Honestly, that's like the biggest thing I've gotten better at is being on my back. So like day by day, I feel more comfortable with like being on my back and like fighting from that position. But I don't know. I just don't. It's hard to. It's really weird passing people's guards that are bigger than you, and you know they can kind of just get up and wrestle whenever they want.
Yeah.
So it's like it's better in my mind to know that like I'm really doing well when I'm like on my back because like they can't. Somebody would rather pass their guard than like let somebody pass their guard.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. It's more of a mental thing for me.
Yeah.
As far as being on my back, but that's just how it is being smaller.
I totally get that.
What do you think?
There was a point where I was like, dang, I'm really comfortable being like on my back in my guard. And then I started rolling with more upper belts and I was just getting passed like crazy. And I was like, I don't know. I think it's nice to just be passing. But at this point, I honestly feel more comfortable in the passing position just because I feel like it's harder for me to get in a bad situation when I'm passing versus when I'm playing guard. Like playing guard is, unless you are really offensively minded while you're in your guard, you're almost waiting for like them to make a mistake while passing or them to just pass your guard and then try to get out and get back up. So I've been enjoying passing a lot more and trying to like play around with the outside versus pressure passing through a half guard positioning. So yeah, I'd say passing right now.
Wrestling takedowns or judo? That's a bad question for me because playing
you don't really
stand up,
stand up as much.
playing stand up with people bigger than you, especially training stand up with people bigger than you, is very tiring and very not easy to like constantly or consistently get better at. So when I've started, my part of my game has been like taking the takedown and like on my terms. So like I don't go for the takedowns. I kind of just like fight for like I try to get to their back like while standing or like dig for an underhook, but I usually end up getting taken down and then just like trying to get my guard in. Like I'm very like mindful about getting taken down now instead of just like going for a takedown and getting taken down because I'm smaller.
Yeah.
So like part of my game has become just like playing the takedown. So I don't like wrestling takedowns for me because I don't know any judo takedowns and I only know one. And my only takedowns are wrestling takedowns, so
Yeah.
I'd say wrestling takedowns. But like it's much more stand up is much more like where is it gonna go from here on the ground? Like where am I gonna land on the ground? For me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I initially was intimidated by all the wrestling because I never had shot like a double leg or a single leg, and every time I tried, I'd just get guillotined or like headlocked, and I was just like, why would I even try doing this? And like getting to the back felt like an impossible task for so long because I didn't know how to arm drag, I didn't know how to like throw over, I didn't know any of it. So I was just like, forget all that. Dang, that was loud. But I learned a judo throw off of YouTube and then tried it out and was able to do it the first time I tried it. So ever since then, I've been able to just like get an overhook, like throw a leg around and just like toss him down. So now, and I really liked that for a while. That was kind of my only stand up. But recently I've been training a lot more wrestling and with wrestlers and getting a lot of advice from those. One thing about Eco, if there's a wrestler in there, they have a state championship. Like everybody that comes in, they're like, oh yeah, state championship here, state championship
It's
there.
just casual.
It's just casual, bro. They're just handing them out apparently.
Yeah.
But no, all the studs just end up there. But it makes it annoying when you're going against them because you're like, dude, we're doing a wrestling drill against a state champ wrestler.
Yeah.
But you get the best training. You get the best advice. You get the best reps. Like they're doing it. Like if you're doing it right against them too, like they're the best at defending it as well. So I've gotten more of a balance, and honestly, I still prefer judo. Honestly, a good judo throw over a wrestling takedown. Takedowns just feel more risky. A judo throw feels like you're throwing them into a good, like throwing yourself into a good position as well. So judo over wrestling right now. You ever been put to sleep?
I have not. I have not.
Well, I have. Twice. Unfortunately, I've gone out 2 times here recently. Both times, I was like, oh, this is bad. I don't think I can work out of this anymore. I need to tap. And then you wake up from going out, and they're like, Evan, are you okay? Evan, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, wait, what, did I not tap? Like, I swear I tapped. The
Neither
first
of them
time,
were me.
yeah, neither of them were you. I went out by 2 other people, 2 blue belts. And as soon as I would, like, tap, the first guy, he was like, I felt your tap, but when you went tap, you went limp. So I didn't think it was a tap because it was just a one hit, and my hand went limp. And I was like, dang, well, I was trying to tap. And then the second one, I don't even know if I even, like, tried or not. But my last thought was I need to tap. And then I woke up, and I was like, okay, well, should have tapped.
Before that.
Yeah, but it is crazy. But it makes you learn more about when to tap and when you can kind of still try to fight for it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Anyway, that is going to be it for the 6-month video.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed going through all of this, honestly, talking about it, kind of like getting it outside of our mind and just getting it onto a blank canvas has been really fun. So if you appreciate it as much as we have, drop a like, subscribe if you're new. We'll be doing more of these kind of sit down, talking about things or breaking down matches going forward as opposed to just me posting just the open rolls now that I'm really enjoying uploading this jiu-jitsu content more than I anticipated. So stick around if you are enjoying it as much as we are. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you for Owen doing the video with me. Show him some love as well. But I'll catch you in the next one. Much love, much peace. We out.